Since the Chancellor's announcement in late July, we've all heard the concerns of our elderly constituents. We know that the winter fuel payment provides vital support during the coldest months of the year. It is not a luxury, and the Chancellor's decision will leave as many as 2 million people extremely worried about how they will afford their energy bills this winter. This cut is simply wrong. It is wrong to strip support from many of the poorest pensioners, just as energy bills are set to rise again. It is wrong to force vulnerable elderly people to make that choice between heating and eating this winter. And it is the wrong answer to the challenges that we face. The way that we treat the vulnerable members of our communities reflects who we are as a society and what sort of signal does it send turning our backs on millions of pensioners. There are almost 1.4 million people across the UK aged over 65 who are providing unpaid care. And although Carers UK await data on how many will lose the winter fuel allowance, we know that these carers and those that they care for are some of the most vulnerable in our society. This cut would be far from a fresh start. It would be a disappointing and shameful abandonment of poor and vulnerable pensioners. What I'd like to seek from the Secretary of State is, if people are applying for pension credit and only get that confirmed after the date in which the winter fuel payment is made, will those people be caught up with? How can the Government aim to boost pension credit on the one hand while aiming to maximise the fiscal savings that it is making through this cut? Around 130,000 elderly people miss out on pension credit as they are just £500 over the income threshold to claim the benefit. And we know that those vulnerable elderly people will now be cut off from winter fuel payments. There is cruelty at the heart of this cut. These vulnerable pensioners who have spent years struggling under a Conservative cost of living crisis are now faced with a double hit, an increase in the energy price cut from the 1st of October, alongside being stripped of those winter fuel payments. It is important that we do not forget that energy costs are much increased than they were from a few years ago. So arguably a winter fuel payment is needed more than it ever was. This House has an opportunity today to do the right thing and protect those vulnerable members of our society. So the Liberal Democrats will be supporting this motion and opposes the move to strip pensioners of that support.